President Biden has generally
All right, so we're on. Just waiting for all of the channels to upload. We are once again, we're not just on YouTube or Facebook. We're doing. Let me lower this. So we're on all Rumble, Facebook. Welcome again, everybody. I just wanted to come on quick to go over this with you. We have our viewers have gone ahead, true to form, and given us some more information. We asked you when we put out the last video to if you heard of any other, or if you were able to crowdsource any other bombings or fires that have taken place to our food supply chain or to anything referencing our food supply chain, that you share that information so that we can put it out. And certainly it took a day before some more information came. So I want to just make sure that I cover that with you. I'm going to give it just a minute. We got about 10 people on, but I kind of blitzed this. I didn't announce it. I just kind of jumped on. So I appreciate the 10 people that are on right now. But I want to just give it 1 minute and then we'll jump right into this. All right. So, and I don't even know if I want to wait that minute, do I? Right? Well, it's not fair to the people that jumped on right away, is it? All right, so let's get into it. So, let me just open up my doc here. And we've got, so I know what I'm talking about. So we've got, all right, Nutrient AG Solutions. So this one happened in February. So a couple of these are fertilizer plants, all right? So, and then the other one just happened just maybe a week ago, not even. This is the second one this month, by the way. Was Azure. We'll get into that in a second. But we got Nutrient AG Solutions in February. Storage building contained 1.75 million pounds of mixed components for fertilizers. Gone. All up in a blaze. Now, why am I tying in fertilizer when all the other 20 that we covered or 18 or 19 that we covered were meatpacking plants and potato, refineries and things like that? Well, because fertilizer is very significant, right? And if you've been following this at all, Russia and China are number 1 and 2 in fertilizer exports. Now, Russia has turned around and already banned fertilizer exports to the United States. So we've lost that altogether. Good luck getting China to pick up the slack there. So that leaves us already without these explosions and without these fires in a hole from the standpoint of agriculture. Now, farmers across the country have been holding off and have not been purchasing fertilizer, probably because of its ridiculous price right now, and they're probably holding out as long as they can before they have to do it. So understand that the effects of all this are not hitting you immediately. This is something that's going to hit. These are delayed effects. So like when these things happen, the cost of production goes up, but it has to be produced first before that hits your pocket. All right. So, and I see some people on. Sheila, how are you? Can't wait to hear what you have to say, she says. And then we have Debbie Baker. Thank you for doing this for us. Let's spread the news. Absolutely, Debbie. Let's spread the news. So, and yeah, plane crashed into a food processing plant parking lot of trailers today. I didn't even know that. So that happened today. All right. So this, Debbie, thank you for that. So Debbie's saying a plane crashed into a food processing plant parking lot of trailers today. So there's another one. Add them to the list, right? And so Nutrient Solutions was one, the fertilizer companies that took a hit. Winston Weaver fertilizer plant also took a hit. This was February 1st. So 2 in February. All right. We listed 2 in March previously in the other video. And now we've got 2 in April. Azure being the second one. So, and now Azure is if you're not familiar with the company, the Azure was a company that does healthy foods. So, anything you want organic, if you don't want any of those pesticides or, you don't want, and I don't really fear the pesticides or the GMOs, but I do prefer if I can get organic, to get it. But that being said, if you're that person who really, all your beef needs to be grass fed, all that, like this is the company for that. Well, they just got their own touch of luck from this contagious fire that's going around for the last year that only seems to infect food plants. But they didn't get it. They were able to put this one out fairly quickly. They lost access to. So what the CEO said was that oils, honeys, and vinegars. So all their liquids. So the build they were able to stop it before it caught on to other buildings. But the one that did get hit, it's where it started, was the one that does all their liquid products. So oils, honeys, vinegars will all be impacted as a result. Everything else, they said, will be fine. And that's the thing. The impact on each one of these has been different. The impact on each one has been kind of, some have been completely devastated. They're gone. Right, Tyson Foods gone. Both of their plants got hit to the point where they were history. Now we did mention in the other, I forget who brought it up now, but we're asking what I think it was Barbara, a woman named. So she brought up, well, who owns Tyson? So while we were on the air, I went on to my good old pal Yahoo Finance to look up who the major holders of Tyson were, and sure enough, it was BlackRock and Vanguard. So, whether that's connected, I don't know. They own everything anyway, but I can tell you that somehow it's connected regardless, because these fires are connected. All right, each one is being invested. Like at this point, investigators should be looking at this in the context of the whole. So prior, each fire that went down through the last year, and again, we're looking at almost two a month now, almost two a month on average, right? We're over 20 now, we're 21, and now in the last 12 months. So so with that being said, so you're looking at two a month. At some point, investigators have to stop looking at this as isolated incidents and start opening their minds to the possibility that there's something bigger going on here. Because as we mentioned in the last broadcast, as far as meatpacking plants were concerned, prior to the Tyson fire in 2019, there hadn't been major fire in a meatpacking plant for 19 years. 2000 was the last time that happened. Then it happened to Tyson in 19 and again in 21. So it happened to him twice in 2 years, and then after that was the string of now over 20. Between there's an onion packing plant that went up in flames, Nestle got hit, Kellogg's, like there are it's just way too many to keep saying to yourself, there's nothing going on here. There's just way too many. So I see comments flying in here. So Sheila's saying this is absolutely not a coincidence. Absolutely, we all know what this is truly about. And look, I believe that. I believe that we can't look at this as if it's some kind of fluke or that it's some kind of, there's just too many. Again, there gets a point of coincidence where I don't care if you think it's a conspiracy theory or not. You have to open your mind to the idea that 20 plus food processing plants at the same time that we end up encouraging, and we absolutely encourage this conflict in Ukraine. We egged this thing on, and we were going to continue until it happened. All right, and I will not be shocked if we get to a point where we have boots on the ground. But right now, we egged that thing on, and it just so happens to be that then we went on with all the fake stories, right? We went on with all the fake stories that we regurgitated here. Everybody did it, all right, with the Snake Island with the 13, soldiers, and they took on a battleship and then were killed when they ran out of ammunition, only to find out the Ukraine border guard had no idea what we were talking about and reported that not only were they not killed, but there were 82 of them, and they were fed and given hospital care before being returned home. But that narrative was that, right? So we know that they're lying about the narrative. So all of these things just add up. Bird flu, right? We got the bird flu pandemic. The food supply is taking an absolute beating right now. There are so many things going down with the food supply right now that if you think that this isn't another emergency that they're trying to save us from, you're crazy. You're crazy. You're crazy. I guarantee you, 100% guarantee you, that we're about 3 months away, if that, of Biden coming out and giving an announcement that All of these unfortunate incidents that have taken place, this perfect storm of crises that have taken place between the corona protocols and the bird flu and all of these unfortunate fires, and our food supply chain has just taken such a beating. He's already warned us about food shortages. So keep that in mind. He's already warned us about that. And so it's don't think for 1 second that this isn't the next crisis that they're going to have to save us from. And the end result of that saving is going to be them trying to take control of the food supply through only major corporations. Because that's where it's headed, okay? That's exactly where this is headed. There's no way. Look, we can only assume there's going to be more fires to come. We can only assume that at this point. Why would we not assume that? There have been at least 2 every single month for the last year. Why would you not assume that another one was going to happen? I mean, it's not outrageous it's beyond that now. We've got these Great Reset people out here talking about all this nonsense, boasting about their grand plan, and it's just insane. It's just insane. So I'm going to take some of these comments. We got another one. Wednesday, April 13th, 2022, Gem State Processing, Idaho. So I'm going to do a quick search on that one. And let's see if we got anything on it. Oh, that's the one with the pilot, huh? Yeah, so that's the second potato processing plant that got hit. So let me get back here. Yeah, so you assume the pilot's going to die in that one, huh? So there's one dead in the crash. Is this the right story? Although how many? Yeah, April 14th. No, yeah, April 14th, 2022. So yeah, this is it. You said the 13th, right? So yeah. So and maybe just maybe my screen will work here. Here it is. So this is the one she's talking about in the comments. The plane crashes into the Idaho. So this is another one. Okay, so I just added 3 to the 18 or 19 that we had already, and now let's add that on again. Now we're literally at 2 a month. We're at 23. One more, and I guarantee you, if we look a little harder, we'll find another one. I mean, that's where we're at right now. UN, IMF, IEA, WEF, this is Diana Wolf, fascism, F the elite, and this one's probably not showing on the YouTube channel. This one's coming from YouTube, and for some reason YouTube doesn't leave the comments up after that. I don't know if it's a setting that I have or whatever. I don't understand it, but they don't leave the comments up. At least I can't see them after the live broadcast, so I'm not sure what's going on there, but yeah, F the experts, bad data equals bad science and corrupt policy. I will not submit. I will not comply. Right? Not in my American name. I am not a guinea pig. Yeah, Diana, I can't disagree with the word you said. I mean, she said, I'm not a number. May the lies turn to ashes in their mouths. Yeah. I mean, we get it, right? We get it. So there's Hey, do take the comment. Oh, they do take the comments down. Yeah, I know. I don't know. So Sheila's telling me, yeah, they do take the comments down. I don't know if she's saying that that's what they normally do, or if that's just something that that is happening to me. I don't know, but I know. Look, share these videos though, folks, because they're not distributing them anymore, right? So we're live to Rumble now too, which is great. I'm excited to be on Rumble for that purpose, especially from the live angle of it, because we've already started seeing some great traction in Rumble. We never, before we had kind of looked at Rumble as like a backup server where we would kind of do our videos for YouTube and Facebook and then kind of upload them to Rumble in case we got thrown off or whatever, that we would at least have everything on a platform that we could guide people to. But now we're kind of taking Rumble more seriously and I'm excited about it. I think things have been going very well on Rumble, and so I think I think it's going to be a good thing. I'm kind of excited about Rumble. But let me just make sure Rumble is streaming well here. It says live. Rumble makes you put up this video first. I don't know why they do that. It like drives me insane. It's like I have to make a short clip video just to get ready to go live. But let's see if they're up. I think it's streaming. I'm pretty sure we're showing. I just want to see if anyone's commenting. So if you're commenting on Rumble, I have to answer that separately. I do have the chat up though. So let me just feel free to comment. All right. So, but anyway, look, we all know how crazy this is, right? We all know how crazy this is. We all know, what's been going on. We're all seeing this happen in real time. And we all know that the way out of it, as I've said a million times, is convention of states. We have to call the convention. It has to happen. Okay. It has to happen. And the fact of the matter is, however we want to position it. If you don't know, if I just said convention of states, you're new to the channel and you don't know what I'm talking about, then you need to go and research this. So I have already put out videos for dummy videos, so to speak, that go down through the basics on our website at thepatriotthinktank.com. You will see that there's a PragerU video there. There's some other videos and information. We've got the states all lined out there. I tried to only put on the website the stuff that I don't readily find on Cause Action. So like each one of the actual resolutions are listed there. There's a bunch of stuff. But Kevin Patrick, what's up, Kevin? It says they can't show the Going Maxwell case or the Johnny Depp camps are being set up. Major food processing plants are being purposely. Yeah, absolutely, right? Yeah, and the Ghislaine Maxwell, I won't even go down that rabbit hole right now, but how quiet was that case, huh? That just flew under the radar like nothing. Look, there's a lot of dirty people in this world right now with a lot of money and a lot of power and a lot of influence, and they own the media, right? We went through that with the BlackRock episode. It's not 6 companies that own the media. It's one. It's Vanguard. That's it. You could say Vanguard and BlackRock, but Vanguard owns BlackRock, so they're the majority holder of every single media organization in the country, probably in the world, if we look that far. But I mean, I stopped at the country, but that's where they're at. That's where they're at, and it's disgusting. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. What gets me is why journalists who work for these organizations, because I honestly think a lot of them don't even realize. They just think people are going crazy. I think there are some of them who are clearly in on it and off the rails. Rachel Maddow and people like that. But I think a lot of the ones who take the job more seriously, and really try to report, objectively, think that they are, because they have these sources, right? They have these government sources and whatnot, and they're out there, talking about, I know this guy. I got it right from this guy in the military. I know this, that it's true. But meanwhile, that guy was given information for that very purpose. They've been playing this game with the media for so long that you would think that someone in the media would wake up at this point and start to put 2 and 2 together. I can't believe that every single human being that works there is in on this. You know what I mean? It's just too many people. You can't, they have to really believe what they're doing. And it's just crazy to think of that. So it says she was found guilty. None of her clients arrested or investigated. Yeah, of course not, Kevin. So he's talking about Ghislaine Maxwell saying that she was found guilty, and this Kevin Patrick on Facebook said none of the clients were arrested or investigated. Of course not. They're not going to arrest Prince Andrew. Right? They're not going to do that. So, Epstein kills himself, right? And then the rest is history. But you see what's going on right now. Since 2020, they have really amped up this reset to the point where, and it slipped by me for like a year. I wasn't even, I mean, I always knew that these guys met every year. I knew their conversations were creepy. I knew, it's like those Bilderberg meetings or whatever. Like, that they're getting together. That the meetings are weird. That they're creepy. But you didn't really, like, now that they're coming out and just straight out telling you, they're not asking you, they're telling you. If you watch that WEF, if you just go to YouTube and hit WEF, The Great Reset, and just suffer through and sit through and watch that whole thing. And you will hear the way that they talk about it and the tone that they use and the whole nine is just like this is not a coincidence that all these things start happening after 2020. And we got to get out of the mentality of like still barking about stupid stuff like, oh, left and right. No, yeah. Like, no, there's Marxists and there's Americans. Okay. That there's no longer Democrats and Republicans. It's Marxists and Americans. That's what there are now. So put your pride aside. I don't care if it's a Democrat who sees through this BS, then that person is an ally. Period. And if you're a Democrat and it's a Republican who's seeing through this BS, that person is an ally. That's the way we need to start looking at things going forward. Because we can't afford to be divided at this point. When you cut it down to just Marxists and Americans, now you're looking at a really small group of people on the other side. You're looking at a whole group, very small group of people on the other side. All right? You've got this young generation who just doesn't know any better. And then, everyone worth their shirt who has any love for this country whatsoever is on the same side. Period. All right, I'm trying to keep up for these with these comments here, so let me take a look at what we got. We got, Kevin's mentioning Will Smith's slap was a distraction, and we all know about the distractions, right? So like they're always distractions. And that's going to happen, right? So you're going to get some stupid story that pops up, some event that the news is all of a sudden going to flock to. And because always look the other way when that happens. Always. I learned this a long time ago, and it's a part, I want to put out a video just to help people with internet research and kind of explain to them, why you don't use Google, why you need a neutral search engine and those things. Because when you're looking up information and you start to learn these things, it becomes evident that like these distraction stories come out right on time all the time. And when I say don't use Google, it's not because Google censors this and that, which they do. Okay. YouTube has clearly censored plenty of information, but that's not even the reason. I say don't use Google because their algorithm, the way it's designed, their company structure on a legitimate front, not even trying to, it's designed to give you what you want to hear. Right? If you're going to a search engine like Google, if I put in President Joe Biden and you put in President Joe Biden, you should get the same results. If it's really based on what's going on in the world and who's clicking what web pages and where all the action is, we should get the same results, but we never will. You'll always get completely different results because my results are going to be tailored to what they think I want to see. Your results are going to be tailored. So you just stay in an echo chamber is what happens, no matter what your belief system. You just stay in an echo chamber. I just lost my screen here. I don't know what the hell happened. Give me one sec, folks. My actual monitor turned off there for a minute. All right, I'm back on. So, but like that's the whole point is that when you go to a search engine like DuckDuckGo, you will get the same. You have two people try the exercise. I've done this before. You go on there, two people put the same search in, you're going to get the same results because they don't make their money off of custom advertising. As a matter of fact, they will rate other websites and tell you how much that website is trying to track you. And they'll get like an A, B, C, D grade. And it'll open your eyes to, some of these websites and how much they're tracking you. I mean, YouTube's always a D. Facebook is always a D. Always. All right. But anyway, my point of the matter is when you're looking for information, use those tools. Use the tool. Like DuckDuckGo is not a conservative, search engine. It's just a search engine. It's just a search engine. That's it. Sorry, my phone is blowing up because of all the comments, and they're all popping up on my phone. So rather than continue to listen to this beeping noise, I am going to go vibrate. There we go. But yeah, so let me check out some of these comments. So Sheila says it's not about red or blue. It's about red, white, and blue. Absolutely. And that's a cliche that's been said often, but it's not like it's never been more relevant than right now. It's never been more relevant than right now. Right now, that is incredibly relevant. Incredibly relevant. And because like I said before, like people need to just swallow their pride and see what's going on. And I don't just mean the activity that's going on. I mean, we need to band together and start taking action. Like we need to start remembering, all right? And some of us haven't even been alive when the people treated the government and ran the government the way it was supposed to be. But it's supposed to be run through the state legislatures. State legislatures are supposed to be king. All right, we've gotten away from that, and that's something we need to get back to, not just for convention of states purposes, but for purposes, period. Like it's supposed to trickle up, not down. That it's not. We created the federal government. The state legislatures created the federal government. All right, the federal government does not run the state legislators. So that's where we need to take our battles. Those are the elections that we need to be focusing on. Like that's it. That's where it's at. And when it comes to it and you reach out to these people, and be cordial, right? Be cordial. Because these are not, look, they know they represent you and they're local, okay? Your state legislators, they know their constituents. They're out in the field. They talk to people. They have people stopping at their office. They respond to emails. They reply to letters. They're engaged. It's not like the federal legislature. And that's the reason why they were given the powers that they're given when it comes to Article 5. This is why. Because they're close to the people. It's the closest, it's the most direct way. Hold on, I lost my monitor here again. I don't know what the hell's going on. It's the most direct way for people to be able to reach out and for people to be able to engage their Congress people. And so if you're not familiar with convention of states and how it works, get on that. I'm not going to explain it all in this video, but it's a method. I'll give you the overhaul. It's a method of amending the U.S. Constitution, proposing amendments to the U.S. Constitution without having the federal government involved at all. And it's designed for the simple purpose. Jesus, my monitor just keeps turning itself off, and I don't know what's going on here. It's always something with these streams. Maybe I got to do all pre-recorded from now on. It's like a jinx. But anyway, let me move this back over, and let me take a look at some more comments here. So, yeah, so thoughts. So Kevin's asking for my thoughts on the Watch the Water interview, the Stu Peters show on Rumble. I did watch that. I watched that as soon as it came out, actually, and it's a little bit. It's interesting. I'll say that. I haven't. That's one that I'm going to need to really dig into before I talk about it on this program. Only because I have to. There's a lot of stuff to validate there. I mean, do I believe? And if you don't know what Watch the Water is, folks, it's a documentary, I guess. That where Stu Peters, if you're not familiar with him, he's been very, very big on the vaccine, and very big on going after. He's come up with some really, really aggressive stories, I would say, regarding the vaccine. And one of the ones that he just broke has someone claiming that the vaccine is actually snake venom. And he lays out. I mean, if everything he says is checks out, then it's a pretty interesting case. Then it appears that it would be true if everything that he says checks out. But I haven't, there's a lot of research I got to do on that one, and I got a full-time job and a world to save. So I don't know if I'm going to try to get around to it. I mean, we'll see. If somebody else validates it and I see some other stuff out there, it may push me along. And guys, if you haven't seen it, it's definitely worth watching. Even if you walk away from it saying that this is not true, or you think it's all BS or whatever, it's still worth watching. I've learned that now, that when it comes to it, don't dispel stuff as conspiracy theory and not watch it. Watch it and then make your decision as to what you think about it. But in any case, you should look into it a little bit. Okay, so if they're telling you, and if they're not giving you sources, if they're not telling you where they're getting their information from, then go ahead and shut it off. Like there are some of these where they just go out there and make these crazy accusations, and then there's like no way to source anything that they said. So I dispel those. But this guy seemed to have a paper trail behind him. It's just, you got to sit down and have the effort to go through it. Let me see here. Diane Wolf says, how many flags are made of red, white, and blue? I believe they're all made of red, white, and blue, right? I don't know. I'm not getting the joke there, I guess, but Michael Sussman didn't kill himself. Darren Wayne Smith. Yeah, no one killed themselves, right? Let's just face it, right? All these people, I put that joke, I put a little joke at the end of my Elon Musk video for the teaser that we did for the intro, where, we kind of had Michael Corleone on there saying, if there's anything certain in life, it had all the clips of the people like, he's depressed? What do you mean he's suicidal? Suicidal? And then Michael Corleone comes on and says, if history has taught us anything, it's that you can kill anyone, right? And then it was like, stay safe, Elon. Because seriously, right? None of these things are accidents. They what was it, Seth Roberts, right, or whatever? There's so many of them. Obviously, Epstein. I mean, the list of people who cross these folks and disappear, die, get mugged and killed, unfortunate suicide. Like the list is freaking long. And it never gets investigated. It always gets swept under the rug. And then they'll turn around to you and say, you have no evidence. And you're like, well, no one's taking it serious. So, like, how would I have evidence, right? But, like, that's a part of it, though, right? That's a part of it. And honestly, it all goes back to this creepy dude, right? This creepy dude right here. Him in his spacesuit that he got from Villains R Us, right? Who freaking gets a suit like that? Like this guy, if you were casting this guy if you were casting for a 1980s movie villain from the future, this is what that's the suit you would send him, right? But this guy is like the classic, evil dude. I mean, he's got all the Hollywood attributes of the classic evil dude. And it's creepy to me that he does, though. Like, I mean, the heavy German accent, he's got the space suit on, he's got, he's talking about, all of these freaking, how we're going to save the world, how it's all going to be good for you, you'll own nothing, and you'll be happy. I mean, these sociopaths are for real. Watch that video. I'm telling you, watch that WEF video. Just type in WEF, The Great Reset. You'll see it. We quote it all the time. Saadi Zahiri, Klaus, she's his little minion. They plucked her out of Pakistan, educated the crap out of her with all of, downloaded all their craziness into her head. And now they got her out there. She's written books on it now. She's like she's all about it. Right? It is her and there's some other dude, I forget his name, real mad scientist looking dude. But like the three of them just sit there and calmly explain to you how they're going to run your life and how much better off you're going to be. Like what they need to do to get all the things they have to put in place to get the economy that they want. Like listen to them. Listen to them. It's insane. Digital IDs, every creepy thing you've ever seen in a futuristic Hollywood movie for the past 30 years is on their agenda. And it's probably not a coincidence. It's probably not a coincidence. These Hollywood directors probably stumble upon some of these people that are at these WF meetings. They tell them some of the stuff they want to do, and it's like, oh, that would be a great movie. And then, boom, Judge Dredd is born. So let me see. Lisa Jax Allen, Mike Adams, Health Ranger, has a three-part in-depth interview with Dr. Artis that features compelling evidence for the Venom theory. He just needs other experts to repeat and validate his data. Yeah. So like I said, that's good. Thank you, Lisa, because that's exactly the type of information sharing we're talking about. So yeah. And I'll look into this Mike Adams, and maybe he can sort of simplify some of this for me. What I was hoping is that whenever there's a situation like this, I always just wish that if you're going to drop that many facts, hold on, my monitor went out again, of course. Here we go. So if you're going to drop that many facts, like we did this in our second episode ever, but like we sourced the hell out of it. Like I listed the links. So anybody who watched our video for our second episode, if I ever do something that long with that many facts and that much research, I'm going to drop every source document that I have. Like, because, so if this guy, if they put up links to all the papers that he shows in the documentary, if they put up links to all that stuff, now somebody like me can read it, and then I'll be like, okay, here are the links, right? But like, why would you make me do the work again when you've already done it? Like why do I have to go and now and watch your document? Now I can't talk about it publicly, really, or at least validate it, because it takes time, right? I don't have a research team to jump on all these links. Like, just put the damn things, put them on a website, put them somewhere. If you know that they're on a website, tell me, and I'll be happy to. I'll be happy to go through that. But like, for me to go in and actually start looking for each of these documents, trying to stare at the video and see what the title of the document is so I can search it, and like, that's cumbersome. Like, that's. Look, if it gains any traction, I'll be more than happy to go through it. I just don't want to throw every single theory and documentary out on this particular program. I don't mind talking about it, that it exists, but I'm not going to validate it until I can validate it. So, like, but I'll look into this Mike Adams guy, because, Sheila says she's seen it. It's creepy. Those people are evil and serious. Yeah, and one thing about it, that I'm getting closer mentally with, is the fact that, this whole satanic thing that's been, with all the symbols in Hollywood and all the stuff that's out there, like there's something to this. Like whether or not you're a religious person or not, it's pretty clear that a lot of these people are into some kind of a cult. Like, they're just into it. And like, because that one of the telltale signs of people who are into the occult is the symbolism. Like, there's always that play that they gotta pay homage, and they gotta visibly pay respect. And so even though it's a hidden Easter egg and it only comes up for a second, it's still visible. It serves the purpose, right? So like, some of them will have, light shooting from above onto their stage floor with a symbol so the fans can't see it, but it's there, or they'll have something flash on a screen, or, they'll make the eye thing for the, like, Disney, how many examples from Disney, right? Like, it's all over the media. It's all over. And there's something to it. Like, I can't blow that off and say there's nothing to it, because there's just too much. Again, it's too much. It's like these fires. There's just too much of it. It's just everywhere. It's just everywhere. Like, why on earth would a Disney animator paint an all-seeing eye on the back of a goofy skateboard? Why on earth would they put "Ask About Illuminati" on an eye chart in a McDuck cartoon? Like, that's a very intentional action. And it's like, what's going on? I don't know. I don't know. I know this. I know that it's really not as complicated as it seems. I know that there are very bad people in this world. There are absolutely. They've now made themselves known and clear, in case there was any ambiguity. We know who the sociopaths are. We know who these people are. The only question is, what are we going to do? And so we know that there's really bad people out there, and we know that we have a path to take action. And that path is very clear. And it's not difficult. It's not challenging, okay? It involves literally everyone sitting down and writing a letter. That's what it involves. Everybody sitting down. Two things. One, going and registering for Convention Estates at conventionestates.com. Okay, and then getting on board. They'll send the letter on your behalf, but you should write a handwritten letter to your legislator as well. And you go to our site. There's a link to sign the petition, and they will tell you who your local representative is and send the letter on your behalf. But you should follow that up with a handwritten letter. Why handwritten? Because they're effective. When they come in handwritten, they get read. Okay? Like they'll take the one that comes in. I don't know, exactly how they process these things, but they'll know that the one that comes from Convention Estates is on your behalf as a, and it's one of those that you can just sign up and hold on. I lost my monitor again here. And guys, can you tell me in the comments? I don't know what you're seeing when my monitor goes down. I'm guessing that it's staying fine for you. But are you losing my audio when that happens? I'm curious. Because, I don't know what's going on right now, but every time I go live, something crazy happens. And right now, my actual monitor that I'm managing everything on just keeps turning off, like randomly. And I can't, I don't know what happens on your end when that happens. I don't know if you're losing anything or if you're just watching me make a fool of myself trying to get it back up. But let me take a look at some more of these. I got the comments are flowing today, man. Oh my goodness. No audio and the visual is fine. Okay. Thank you, Lisa Jax. So Lisa Jax Allen said that from Facebook. So now I know if my monitor goes out again, then I'll just shut my mouth for a second and kind of wait till I get it back up. Not sure why that's happening, but I do want to get to some of these. So we write handwritten. Yeah. So Sheila Marie Luiso Malloy on Facebook. She's one of the cause supporters. Sheila's on with us all the time, and she's been very active in getting stories over when she sees something or things like that. And she's commenting that they write handwritten letters all the time because the emails just go. Oh, it just moved on me. Yeah, but because the emails don't get seen, and that they just go on a random loop, and it's very effective, and that's true. Like a handwritten letter, you have to open it, you got to look at it, right? And an email, we all have email. I don't have to explain that to you guys, right? You know. So, all right, so yeah, all okay now. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate that. It's whatever happens when the screen goes down. It's just nuts. I don't know what's causing it. I don't know why it's happening, but it happens because I'm going live. And every time I fix a new issue, something else happens. The other day, the last one I did, my video disappeared. It just disappeared from all of my scenes. It disappeared. I had to manually, while I'm live, go in and add the video. And that's what happens when you don't have a producer, right? When you're trying to keep your talk track going, keep the conversation going, and produce the damn thing at the same time. It's challenging. But let me see. So what do we have here as far as... All right, so Lisa dropped a Rumble link in the comments. Is that, Lisa, is that link that you dropped in there, is that for that guy, what was it, Mike Adams and whatnot that you said did the validation of it? So I'll check it out either way once I get off of here. But I appreciate that. I appreciate the comment sharing as well, the information sharing as well. But, look, they're out there, folks, right? They're out there, and they're dirty, and they're doing bad things, and we need to come together, and we need to stop with the Democrat, Republican, stop it. Nobody cares anymore. Okay, we're on that kick. They want us on that kick. We know now for a fact that there are creepy people worth billions of dollars and tons of influence that are trying to control Western civilization. Period. It's not the world, because they're never going to get China, they're never going to get India, and half the world's population is going to live under them. The other half, this creepy dude in the spacesuit wants to take over. All right? And so how do you stop that? Well, you stop that by doing what the United States has always done. I mean, when you read on these guys, they talk about the United States as the biggest thorn in their side ever. They've been at this for some 60, 70 years now, trying to organize and get this stuff done, and they have taken the slowest approach ever to infecting our society, our universities. PhDs are meaningless now. There used to be a day when someone used to say, well, this guy's got a PhD, and you'd be like, oh, well, I better listen to him. Now they say they have a PhD, and you're like, yeah, I'm going to need to validate that. Because these people, these woke PhD people, have just absolutely destroyed our universities for generations. And we've got to be able to work around that. We've got to be able now, the challenge is on us to be able to find information now. And that's what we're trying to do here, right? The task is on us to find this. The media is not going to tell us. I don't care what the story is. The media, if it's a story that goes against the narratives that BlackRock, Vanguard, the creepy spacesuit guy here, Klaus Schwab, if it's against their narrative, you're not going to see it on the media. You're just not going to see it. Period. And everybody acts like they don't want to listen to mainstream media, but they still post up, articles from mainstream media. Like clearly, we haven't given up on the mainstream media. And so, in the end, yeah, let them put you on a lead to a story, but we need to be able to go and decide whether or not it's true or not. Like we cannot, fact checkers have proven to be a joke, right? Everything media is just an arm of the Marxists. Again, I'm not even calling them Democrats anymore. It's the Marxists. That's who this is. That's where this problem is. All right, there are Marxists and there are Americans. Period. No Democrat, Republican nonsense. Marxist, American. All right, and you need to pick a side. You need to pick a side. And if picking a side means that you got to sit there and suck it up and wrap arms with a Kennedy Democrat, then or you got to wrap arms with someone who voted for Trump. If you got to do it, you do it. Because right now we're all we got, folks. We're all we got. All right, and it's important that every sane person left in this country that has not been indoctrinated and it is not walking around thinking men can be women and men get pregnant and all this crazy troll stuff that's just testing how deep you got someone demoralized. That's all that is. Right? If someone believes that men can get pregnant, that person has been demoralized, as Yuri Bezmenov says, to a level, to the umpth degree, right? To the umpth degree. That person cannot be saved. That's what Yuri would tell us. That person cannot be saved. Because if you're willing to believe something that ridiculous and entertain it like a real thing, right? Then, yeah, how the hell am I supposed to have a conversation with you about the Constitution of the United States? Like you're out there and you think men can get pregnant. How am I supposed to have an educated conversation? It's difficult. It's difficult. Right? And they think science is, but I mean, it's nuts. It's nuts. I honestly think that they're at the point now where they're just trolling these people. They're just trolling them. All right, I see a comment from Sheila saying, do you, George? All right, I got it. I thought you were asking me, like, do I do it? I'm like, well, do what? So, let me see. So, let me scroll down here. We got some new ones. So, direct from Congressman Lee Zeldin, Kathy Hochul and her fellow Democrats controlling Albany ignored the law and the will of the people when they created the most hyper-partisan gerrymander imaginable. Yeah. So, so what that reference is to New York trying to redistrict so that, it's crazy, super partisan district realignment. And that happens all the time. But New York went off the rails with it. And even in New York, they were like, oh, we got to shoot this down. And it got shot down. So, that's some kind of status quo stuff, but they did go a little bit further than normal, I would say, in that particular run in New York. All right. Look, I have a video that I'm going to be putting out addressing corporate wokeness, just kind of giving you a breakdown how in terms of this New World Order and the creepy spacesuit guy and why these companies are doing it, why Disney is coming out on wanting to make 50% of their characters transgender when only 0.6% of the population is transgender, and why Coca-Cola was telling people in trainings, to be less white, and why all this, it seems nuts, and I think we all see it, and we say, well, it doesn't make sense, and everyone's first reaction is, I'm not going to buy this anymore, but in the end, there's a reason why they're doing it, and they're not really worried about your boycott. They're not really worried about it. And I could tell you, a lot of these CEOs, they don't believe this garbage. They don't believe any of it. But they're doing it because of ESG scores. And you can look up ahead of time ESG scores. It's environmental, social, social justice, and governance. And those are three. This is like the video we did on the 21 metrics of the WEF. That's exactly what they are, is the 21 metrics. And this is what they plan on making law. Once this thing kicks in, they plan on legislatures taking it that serious. But even before then, they're threatening companies, large corporations, with investment money if they don't score well on this. If they don't have good ESG scores, it could greatly reduce the amount of investment they get. And you say, well, people don't. We're not talking about people. We're not talking about individuals and their could be their 401ks, but not the individual that's investing. The people who wrote these metrics are the big four, right? And we'll get a little bit into that in that video as well. They're the four largest financial firms in the world, okay? And they're the ones that made these metrics. So they're the ones that are controlling all this investment money. And they're the ones who are going to decide whether or not Coca-Cola has scored well enough to get investment money for something that Coca-Cola wants to do. And the same goes for every other freaking company out there. Every other large company out there. All right. Tesla makes electric cars, but Tesla is ranked medium to low as far as the scores are concerned. Right? Why do you think that is? They're as good for the environment as humanly possible. He takes care of his people. People like to work for him. So what's the issue? The issue is Elon Musk, right? So, and that's the issue with ESGs, is that this is a completely subjective and arbitrary set of metrics that they're judging companies on. So we're going to do a video on that. I'm going to put that together. Should be out in a couple of days. I'm almost done with it, actually. I just keep getting stuck with stuff at work, so it's been slowing me down. What's this? Kevin Patrick George, can you bring me live with you? Kevin, yeah, hit me up on Facebook. I'd love to have you on. So you can jump on. I don't know if I can do it this moment because the software that I'm using does not really... I'm having a hard enough time keeping me on, but we certainly can put something together. And you know what? That's probably not a bad idea. Like in general, we just bring on different people from the think tank and the regular commenters and regular people, and just let people come on and give their, if they want to, right? If they want to. I don't have a problem with that, but I know that you do. So I know you want to. So we could definitely schedule something and we'll do one together if you want. I definitely think that would be fun and somewhat entertaining. But yeah, for sure. All right. Yeah, you'll behave. Yeah. I'm sure you'll behave, Kevin. I'm sure you. So for those that don't know, Kevin and I go back to the old days in Queens. So he's actually a personal friend from back in my Queens, New York City days in the good old 80s and early 90s. But and he's saying he'll behave, but I know he won't. All right, folks. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out. I appreciate everybody who jumped on. I know I gave no notice for this at all, but we definitely had good attendance, so that's awesome. Ton of engagement, ton of comments, ton going on. So I definitely appreciate all of that. Keep an eye out, folks, right? So, as these, any more food plants go up in flames, any more explosions, fertilizer plants, anything like that, I'm adding these all to the list that I have on the website. So on the website, if you go to www.thepatriotthinktank.com/episodes, or you could just go to the website and click on episodes. Right at the top will be the live event we did the other day, where we talked about the first 18 or so of these explosions and fires that went on in the last year. And then I'm going to there's a button you can click that'll give you all the articles to all the individual stories of all of those plants burning and blowing up, so you can kind of get a feel for the context of what happened for each one if you're one of those rabbit hole jumpers like I am. So, and again, just like I was saying with that Watch the Water, video, like that's the kind of stuff, even though this one's just articles, but it were just fires, so it wasn't political. But give me links, give me something to work with when it comes to looking into stuff. What is this? The link in this chat? If not, please add it to the chat on Facebook and I will share it. Yeah, the link is actually in the description, I believe. I haven't gone on to Facebook personally yet to check that, but it should be in the description. I put the thinktank.com/episodes in there. But if not, I can always just go back and add it back in. It's not a problem. But yeah, so it should be there. And yes, always appreciate it if you will share. So, again, guys, ever since our channel, the channel's a year old. We've been at this. We kind of had ourselves organized, I would say, after 6 months of it, and really we're starting to take off. Really, we're starting to fly through. I mean, we were at 100 or so subscribers, let's say, on YouTube, and maybe 200 or 300 on Facebook after like 5 months, and now we're at a year. Sorry. All right, sorry, my monitor went out again, and this time didn't want to come back. But it's probably a good cue for me to get out of here anyway, because I'm just asking for it. Let me see. Sheila says, Kaz loves you. Yeah, Sheila, I love Kaz, right? So get to the website anyway, even if you're just checking that stuff out for the first time. Take the moment to register or to click on the sign the petition link. It'll take you over to Convention of States. I'm really running out of patience with this, so I'm going to cut this as short as I can. Go to convention, go to our website, sign the petition, get to your representative, and start the ball rolling, guys. Start the ball rolling. That's all I can tell you. Start the ball rolling, because that's what we need. We need to get this. We need to get this ball moving quickly. We got 4 states on board this year in the first 3 months. We got more states coming. Pennsylvania's coming. We've got Iowa coming down the road. We still got another vote, and I think in May from South Dakota. So Kansas is not fully off. They pushed it to the side, but they can be reactivated again. All of these things are doable. All right, so let's just make it happen. Get active. Learn about it. If you have questions about it, you come across someone who's giving you grief about it, you just bring it to me, and I will arm you with every piece of information and information from the founders that will smash these arguments to pieces. All right, so on that note, stay tuned. Guys, if you haven't subscribed, if you're watching now and you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do that. We're getting close with YouTube, so I think we're at like 860 right now or something like that. So we're trying to get to that 1,000 mark. That was our original goal with YouTube. But like I said, when we started doing the Great Reset stuff, they really did, not just YouTube, everybody just kind of slowed down our distribution. So like we really need your help when it comes to sharing. We're not monetized as it is. We just want to get the word out. So please make sure that you help us there. Other than that, stay tuned for the next video on the ESGs. I'm out.